Hey everybody, James Draws Everything. This is James here, continuing our series in drawing every country in the world's flag. And today, I think I'm doing a pretty important one. All right, we're going to be doing the flag of France. All right, we all know where France is, right? It's in Europe over here. One of the most important countries in the world. It always gets a seat at the table when very important decisions are being made worldwide. It's a G7 country, all that stuff. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick rundown of French history. Obviously, there's a million different things that we could talk about when it comes to that. But for the purposes of my channel here, you know, we do flags, and the history is just kind of a little added bonus for you. Get to pick my brain for a few minutes as I doodle these things. We're going to talk about the history of the actual flag itself. And I'm going to make the argument that the French flag, it's actually probably the most important flag in the world because it really influenced design as far as how flags used to be and what they would be going forward after the French Revolution. Okay, so you know what this flag looks like. It is a very simple flag. It's a tricolor flag. Not only is it a tricolor flag, it's probably the tricolor flag, somewhat influenced by the flag of the Netherlands. And again, we'll just do a brief rundown of French history, just so that we're all on the same page here. And I'm going to apologize in advance because my French is atrocious with a capital A. So if I mispronounce something, leave me alone, okay? I'm trying. So there's that. And by the way, too, this could be a lighter blue. I believe it officially is designated as a darker blue now, but there was like a period of time where it was a lighter blue. Like I'm trying to see if I have any lighter blue colors on here. Kind of like that Chile blue. So yeah, so I think officially it is the darker navy blue now. And these colors were actually reversed for a short period of time as well. The red used to be on the other side. So France, ancient Gauls lived there. Then the Franks, establishing the Kingdom of France in the Middle Ages. France kind of always at odds with Great Britain. You know, that happened in the 100 Years' War, an expansion into the New World. A lot of the politics that kind of shaped the Western world as far as the Americas are due to the kind of feud between the French and the British and different ways of doing things and different attitudes towards revolutionary politics. In America, probably the Hamiltonians versus like Thomas Jefferson and his crew, the Jeffersonians, the small R Republicans. That would probably be one of the most famous ones. Like if you're just looking at this from an American standpoint, 1789, the French Revolution. That's when we see this flag, and the French Revolution kind of puts France at odds with the rest of the world. Whoops, I'm using the wrong marker here. So the French Revolution, various political, economic, and social reasons caused that. It is the birth of leftism, I think. Modern leftism was born in the French Revolution. A lot of neighboring countries during that time were very fearful of what an unstable basket case France could do. So France was involved in a lot of wars over the 19th century, a lot of government changes as well. Of course, Napoleon was there. He waged war on pretty much all of Europe. And some of the excesses of the French Revolution were curbed under Napoleon. But yeah, that really upset the way the order existed in Europe. You know, 1648, you have the Peace of Westphalia, which kind of is the existing order up until like the World War II period, and that basically sees kind of these nation states and principalities on equal footing as far as war and jurisprudence. This kind of puts an end to that. This is the French Revolutions where you really start to see some of that, like power to the people stuff, start bubbling up into the surface, and yeah, you see a lot of other states start forming unitary states in response, right? So one thing I like to bring up with the French Revolution is, they always talk like this was some peasant revolt against evil government or whatnot. That's not true at all. That was actually an urban revolt. It was an intellectual revolt, a lot like the Bolshevik Revolution almost 100 years later. The majority of French people at that period in time, they had no real interaction with the central government at all. So yes, they probably did have some grievances, but they probably didn't even really know they were French, right? Because you're just you were more tied into your community back then. The nation state wasn't really a thing yet at this point. So yeah, France kind of and the Napoleonic Wars kind of caused Germany and Italy to unify, and that just really that's a massive turning point in history. France forms an alliance with Russia in the late 19th century. They sign a treaty which kind of puts Germany in a really tough spot. You had the Franco-Prussian War prior to that. And yeah, this is kind of setting the backdrop for the two world wars. We could talk for days and days and days about that, but we don't have days and days and days, right? We just took us 2 minutes to draw this flag, so you're getting some bonus content. But yeah, so World War I, World War II, France does have kind of a rogue government during World War II, the Vichy regime. Unified again under de Gaulle, Charles de Gaulle's France. I believe that starts Fourth or Fifth Republic. I kind of get those messed up, so forgive me. Put it in the comments if you remember. So France is on either their Fourth or Fifth Republic right now, their Fourth or Fifth Constitution. And yeah, so they've been a pretty powerful world power ever since. France, again, they're always at the seat of the table. Everybody respects France as a major player on the world stage. First world economy. They're always involved in trade. Now the reason why this flag is so important. So we're gonna close the chapter on French history here, because I could talk for days and days and days about that. But the flag itself, we're gonna go back and we're gonna do a little bit more on the French Revolution here. So the French Revolution was very secular in its origins, right? Because church and state were unified. France was a Catholic country, a lot like Spain. Britain was more Protestant at that point, so it had a lot of Roman Catholic influence, and there was a big anti-clerical movement, right? Whether that's good or bad, you can say that they thought the church was corrupt, and they thought the intellectuals, these were the early leftists, I like to call them, believed that the church should be disposed of, and they should run the government of France, and they should run it as a unitary state and get rid of all tradition and religion. Okay, so France became secular, and with that, they got rid of a lot of beauty. So when you look at what some of these Jacobins did, these early leftists, when they started murdering priests and nuns, they did that in just insanely barbaric ways, putting their heads on pikes and kicking them down the road and stuff. It was more than just a hatred. Of course, during war, things are going to get ugly, right? If you're not cut out for that stuff, don't enlist, or whatever. But this was a non-combatants, treating them like that. That was seen as absolutely barbaric by what was then the international community, not the one that I like to rip on now, but the European world order. The link to the old church and the old world. So France destroyed that, and if you listen to modern leftists too, you get a lot of this from them, right? Everything is year zero, right? There's no tradition, there's nothing worth preserving. Every person is a blank slate. Everything is egalitarian, and that kind of stuff. That equality and whatnot should be forced at the point of a gun. So France is very much responsible for the creation of the modern left. Even that designation, the left, the left and the right, that comes from the French Revolution. So the Jacobins were sitting on the left hand of the Congress, or the left side, Congress or Parliament, I forget. You know what I'm talking about. And And then the more traditionalists, the ones that maybe wanted some kind of social reform, but didn't believe in the all-out nihilistic tendencies of the Jacobins that were on the left. They were the rightists, right? So there was more traditional monarchists and whatnot on that side. So yeah, the leftists, they took control. You have the Reign of Terror, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens during this time that you don't really hear too much about, like in history and whatnot. But I think one thing everybody knows is they redid the calendar, right? You can't have in a secular state, you can't have your calendar based on Jesus Christ. So they had the Thermidor calendar, right? Everything is year zero. Everything is starting from scratch. We can build perfection on earth just as long as we have the right intellectuals in charge. And how many times have you heard that? And it just ends in massive death, famine, slaughter, societal collapse. But yeah, that's leftist policy for you. And we still try it today over and over again. The definition of insanity, trying the same thing hundreds and hundreds of times and expecting the same results and being all surprised when you don't get them. Now, the metric system as well, that comes from the French Revolution, right? Everything is very scientific and measured, right? Everything has to be in tens because tens are somehow more scientific and reasonable than like 12s, and so that comes out of the French Revolution. So when your teacher tells you that, we should be using the metric system because it makes more sense. Really? Does it? I mean, numbers are numbers. Who was it that decided that 10 was somehow like the best number to use? Bring that up to him. See what he says. He probably wouldn't even know if he's a public school teacher. James, don't make fun of public school teachers. I know. Sorry. I guarantee no public school teachers are watching my content after they hear about 2 minutes of me talk. That guy's a right-wing extremist. He's a pretty good artist, though. Thank you. Anyways, where was I? Metric system, starting over from scratch with the calendar, and destroying all beauty. So what I'm drawing right now is an old coat of arms that the French used in the 16th century. And here we go. Again, I apologize in advance. The Valois Anglomé dynasty. Whew, I don't know how good did I do there. Let me know in the comments. So that was one of their coat of arms, and I've touched on this in a lot of my other videos. You see a lot of this stuff on pre-19th century European flags, right? Everything's beautiful. Everything has, intricate artwork and designs on it. This isn't something that you can just draw in an afternoon, unless you're me. But right now, because the French Revolution was going to be so scientific based, and they decided that stuff like this, very simplistic stuff, very rational, reasonable looking flags were the way to go going forward. And France and leftist policy kind of brings that to the rest of the world. When do you ever see an attractive leftist, right? They're always angry, blue hair, obese. All right, James. Subscribers dropping overnight. Okay, I want to make this gold, so let's see what we can do here with that. Let's use a little bit of a lighter yellow for this. Yeah, so beautiful stuff like this was pretty much discarded in the French Revolution, and now me, as an artist who has made it his goal on earth to draw every single flag in the world, that part of me kind of appreciates it, because that French flag I can draw in 2 minutes and call it a day and move on to the next one. But the artist in me, right, the actual guy who appreciates beauty, the traditionalist, I miss stuff like this, right? So I do think kind of turning away from beauty and tradition is not a good thing. I mean, just look at postmodern artwork, right? It's all hideous. It's all ugly. And it's almost ugly on purpose. Like, these people know what they're doing, right? It's to spit in your face. It's to rob you of any kind of historical connection that you have to the past. Or, you are not the sum of your ancestors and their achievements, good and bad. You're just a blank slate. You're a nobody. you're a nobody unless we tell you that you're somebody. So let's see here. I just want to... Oops, I think I missed something here. I missed the arms. So yeah, you got some angels on the side. That's cool. I like angels on the flag. And then we're just going to go really, really light on these wings. So we'll leave a little bit of white in there and just kind of, this whole thing is kind of bathed in gold. So you got a little bit of a sheen on those wings there. And then let me just take a little red. Let's give some accents to these the beautiful angels here. Channeling my inner Bob Ross again. Beautiful angels. Alright, now if we could get maybe a gray out, we'll go underneath and put the shadows in there. And yeah, while I'm doing this, look at Peru, right? Peru, obviously, you know, kind of inspired by that French flag. Peru kept the what I think is a beautiful coat of arms in the middle. So good on you, Peru. You know, I gave you props yesterday when I paid tribute to President Fujimori, who passed away this year, and I like your flag too. So go Peru, rock and roll. Okay, and then you know, we just have alternating jewels or whatever those are in the crown, and then to really pop that gold, I want to give it a little bit of a shine with the brown, just kind of going over some of those darker parts. And this thing is very intricate. It's got beautiful jewels and all sorts of stuff on there, and we can tie some of this together at the bottom. It's like a little medallion. Okay, and then maybe just darken the wings a little bit at the bottom. Oh, perfect. That really makes those pop. I like it. Okay, I like it. Do you like it? I like it. Alright, now let's take our gray out again, and we've got like the folds in the angels, we call it gowns. I guess they're gowns, right? So we'll do some of those. Beautiful, beautiful tradition here, Catholic tradition. Threw it all away. And now we got nice instant flags, you can call them. You can make them in 2 seconds. And you probably, you know, if you're familiar with Quebec and Canada, you've seen these before. Again, I apologize, my French is terrible. The fleur de lis. So, as you know, when France was expanding into the Americas, the French Empire, a lot of French ended up in Quebec, and that's why you see this symbol on the Quebec flag. That's an old symbol of France, dating back centuries. Okay, so if you did something like this, put it in that white part of the French flag, I think that would look a lot cooler. But nope, we got science and reason. The French Revolution too, they created a lot of committees as far as like the what do you call it, like the Commission of Public Safety, the Commission of Reason and things like that. So all this garbage that we have in our current bureaucratic government, a lot of it owes its origins to the French Revolution. All right, so the French tricolor, you know, dates back to 1790. The white combines the red and the blue of the Parisian militia, and it's the official flag of France and all of its dependencies. So France, I did mention, you know, it's in Europe, but French Guinea, and then a couple islands, Martinique, Guadeloupe, I think they're in the Caribbean. They're not really like territories of France. They're actually like part of France proper. So France does expand more than you know, just in Europe there. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I hope I gave back some beauty. You know, again, we like the lazy guy in me likes drawing the quick and easy flags, but you know, the artist in me, I do appreciate beauty. I wish there was more of it in the world, and I hope I gave you something beautiful here to look at. So that's France, and let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.